Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. Now we're going to have an unboxing today, which we haven't had for a long time. Never really that sort of like keen on unboxings. I think they're a little bit funny, but this is a rather special one. This is another, actually, because we've had a couple of these come in recently, but this is another Simoroxigorum species birupes. Now this one, by all accounts, is an adult female. Now, I myself have never seen an adult female. Now, they're reckoned to get up to about 5 inches, and I've never seen one anywhere near that size. So I am really super excited to see this one, and I'm hoping it's going to be huge. That's the plan. That's what we're hoping for. So we're going to set up this 30 by 30 by 30 Komodo, and this is going to be her forever home. So we're going to set this up with the notion that we will breed her in this enclosure. So as you would have remembered on our others, we've got them in, we keep them in our Birupes tubs, which we grow them on, and we're getting them up to a size. So we've got some that are around about this big at the moment. So I'm hoping this one's going to be much bigger. And we've got a couple of subadult males that we know of as well, and yeah, it's just a case now. This should, in theory, catapult us right into the forefront of our breeding program for these particular spiders. They're a spider I've been really keen to get on with. So all being well, this is the key. Right then, let's get on. We're going to that's what I'm looking for. I was looking for my tub. We're going to set this up with our bio balls on the bottom, so we're going to aim for getting plenty of humidity. So we're going to, pardon?
Bio balls.
Our clay balls. Shush now, shush. Right. By the way, guys, it has been one of them weeks, and if anyone requires a camera lady, she is free to a good home. Nothing but a nuisance this week. Right then, so we've got our bio, but we're going to put a little bit more in there. You see, you've cut me, ruined me flow. We're going to stick another one in there just to give a little bit more depth. Now remember, we still get asked, why are we putting these balls in the bottom of our tanks? And basically, we put them in there so that we can hold a level of moisture. These will absorb the water. And then we can, if needs be, if we want to flood an enclosure, this gives us the option. Because the water can sit in here. We use our membrane, we just use a cloth membrane on top. That goes down in place like that. And then what that does is that stops the soil from entering into the clay balls. So it creates that film. It makes that layer in between, which means that we can hold water down in here without it totally saturating the soil that we have on top. So it's a really cool way of doing it. It's been used like this for years and years. So many different applications. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to fill it up purely with Beastie Mix, and you all know what that is now. This is the leaf mulch that we collect from the wild, and it's full of goodness. It's got all the little creepy crawlies and bits and pieces in it, all sorts of stuff, and these are all help our enclosure to become just that little bit more naturalistic. And of course it's free. We all love a freebie. So we're going to fill a bit more of that up. You'll see from the colour of this, it's already quite damp, which is exactly what we want. The birupes come from Asia and come from Borneo, which is subtropical Borneo. So these guys really do like a good humidity. They benefit from it so much. Now we're going to we've got a piece of, we're going to use cork bark today. Now normally we've been using, recently, we've been using an awful lot of our natural collected wood that we use. Now what I've gone for this time is we're going to use a little piece of cork bark, and as you can see there, it's like a half round, and I've cut the end flat, and then I've got a nice shape to the front here. So this just gives us a little bit of something extra, make it look a little bit more. We're going to put that in there. Then we've got a plant. I really must learn what the names of some of these plants are, because I'm terrible. I never know the names, and the garden centres don't help. They don't put a name on it either. Now these, you'll have remembered in one of our previous videos, we mentioned about, oh, that one don't want to come out. Oh, that's got some good roots in it. We mentioned about trying some different plants. Now normally we go with like household house plants, but what we're trying of recently is some of these more garden plants, evergreen garden plants, which is what this is. Now they tend to be generally like a hardier type of plant, so we're hoping they're going to prove to work out well in our enclosures. So we're going to put that in here, and all this really is doing is, it doesn't do anything for the spider, but it does make our enclosure look a little bit better. So we're going to put that in there like so. I'm going to stick that in there. I'm going to put a bit more soil in. So we want to half bury this here. Stick a little bit of that down there. There we go. We've got a nice little bit there, and we're hoping that she's going to hide in here. And the idea being, when we come round to pairing her in the future, it gives our male plenty of space. This is why we're banking this piece up at the back. We're going to put some moss along there. Let's get the lid off of here because it's going to get filthy. So we've got our moss. Again, this is all stuff that we've collected. You know the score by now. So what we're going to do, we're literally going to take the front edge off, like so. We just clean up any little bits and pieces on it that we don't want. That's it. I'm going to put that up here. It's going to go over there like so. Look at that, that was made to measure. Very good. Now, as we were saying earlier on, these are subtropical spider, so they really appreciate the higher humidity, and by having this the way we're doing it, it means that we can maintain that humidity, make a massive difference. Now these spiders were only actually found back in 2019, so they're still relatively new to the hobby. You know, they're not been a huge amount done with them. Now what we did have is it's an interesting thing, back in 2019 when these were first discovered, they hit the scene and everyone went absolutely crazy over them, because they really are an amazing looking spider. And so everyone went absolutely mad, and they were very, very expensive. Now, since 2019, which is what, 4 years ago, about 4 years ago, the things have changed a little bit. But what we're noting is we saw a big influx in 2020 and 2021, big influx in slings. There was lots and lots of slings available, and they were fetching huge amounts of money. Very, very expensive spiders back then. They've come down considerably now, much more affordable. Now, when we had these guys come through, we saw all them slings back in 2020, 21. And then all of a sudden, there was no adults. And it's very, very rare you see adults for sale. Now, we do occasionally see sub-adults. And you'll see there's a few of the big sellers have sub-adult spiders on the go. And ones like ours that we've got now, which are around about this sort of size. But you very rarely, I have never ever seen a full-grown adult. So this is going to be really quite exciting. So we ask the question now is, why do we not see any adults on the market? Why is that? Is there none left from the initial few that were brought over? These spiders are shrouded in, I wouldn't say confusion, but a lot of thing as to whether they, the actual legality of them when they first came in. There was lots and lots of talk about whether they came through illegally or whatever. So there would have been limited spiders. And this might be some of the reason that we don't see any adults, because there was only a few to begin with. So everything on the market has basically grown up from them initial slings, from them very, very first few sales. Now that's an interesting thing. The heat mat was inside here, and it is actually still very, very vaguely warm. Well packed. Oh, there she is. Look at that. She's already on top of the box. Oh, she does look quite big, and she looks rather keen to get out. So, right, what we're going to do, I'm going to take this off. This is another thing that's always nice to see, when people have actually taken the effort to secure the tub so that it doesn't end up getting opened in transit and we end up with a spider loose in the box. Never a good thing. Well, here she is. And I must say, she is a little bit bigger than ours. So this is very, very interesting. Right then, I don't know if you can see her really there. I've got a funny feeling the minute I open this box, we're going to lose her.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We're going to go for it, are we? Right. Okay.
No.
Oh.
To see her.
Oh, you need to see her. You just want to see her run away, don't you?
No. I want to see her too.
There you go. Now, one of the things that we that's been said with these guys is when they reach maturity, they lose the blueness in the blue in their legs. And as you can see, this girl, she's got a lovely, lovely colour into her, but her legs are almost black. So she's most definitely an adult. Very pretty spider. Right. We're now going to see if we can't get her out in here so we can get a real nice look at her. Put her on the grass, she says. Right. Let me just see. She's being very patient. Here we go. Right, I got rid of that bit. That should come complete with a hide. What we're trying to do now is just literally trying to peel this off. Nice and gently does it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't you go disappearing just yet. Well, look at that. As we were saying, try and just get her to back up a little bit. I don't know if it's going to work. Here we go. Just back up a little bit. Don't want you falling off the edge. There you go. Now then, we can see now where it was always said that, shall I turn that a little bit? It was always said that they lose the colouring on their legs. And as you can see from this example here, there is no blue in these legs. Her legs are black, which denotes her to be an adult female. And she's in absolutely wonderful condition. So this now means that all we're waiting on now is a molt from this girl, and we've got 2 subadult males. So we just need to get them to maturity. We're in no rush. We can take our time, because now we've got this female, we are now ready to go. Now it'd be interesting. Now we'll see whether we can feed her up and see if we can't promote a molt, because once we get a molt from her, then we can actually work out exactly where we are and what we need to do. I think it's marvellous for quite a nervy sort of spider. She's done really well. I'm just going to throw some water down in this corner for this plant. You see, we were so keen to have a look at our spider, we forgot to water our plant. That is absolutely beautiful. Very, very pretty spider. And as we can see, we've been told before, and I was very, very skeptical about the size of these, because I'd never seen an adult female. And they're reckoning, you know, they're saying they come out to about 5 inches, which this girl pretty much is. She is pretty much now 5 inches, I'm sure. Once she settles out and she spreads a little bit, she will actually be 5 inches, I'm sure. Now, and we can see there from the bulk as well, her carapace is quite big. So this now gives us a really, really good idea as to where our others are in terms of how long we need to be going before breeding. And looking at this, I would say that all of our others are only just getting to around about half grown. So they've got quite a way to go. So this is going to be an absolute godsend, really, because it means now that we will probably end up pairing this girl later this year. Whereas if we were waiting on our others, it would have been next year minimum. So it really has brought us to the forefront. I can't wait to try and pair these. I think they're going to be fantastic. Now, as we said about the humidity, they do like a high humidity, and they do like it warm as well. So we're looking in the region of getting up in the humidity up into the high 70s, early 80s, and the same with the temperature. We want to be up in the higher temperatures as well. So she will probably go up on one of the higher racks within this room, where we tend to sit around about 80 plus. So, and we'll see how she goes. We'll see what she does. It's going to be an interesting thing to play around with. But what a stunning spider. Very, very cool. Now then, one thing we need to mention. When we done our video, we done our walk around back on Monday. We done our walk around, and I got my spiders mixed up. I actually thought I pulled off the Smithy, the Brachypelma Smithy, and I actually pulled down a Brachypelma Homori, which is absolutely terrible. I was away in the flow, and do you know what? When I was talking and I was looking, I did look at one point, and I was like, "Is that the Homori?" but I thought, no, don't question yourself. Just carry on.
It's getting old.
I'm getting old, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting old. So yes, you sharp-eyed ones, you noticed it straight away. It is in fact a Hamori and not a Smithy. We do have 2 Smithy females in the collection, both adults. I just pulled the wrong one off the shelf. So yes, tut tut tut. Very naughty, very naughty. But yes, hopefully we cleared that up and we'll get sorted out on that. Right, that is absolutely wonderful. Now we have another thing to mention as well. Don't forget, you guys, even you guys over and abroad and everywhere else, we are going to be doing a live talk on Scott's inverts. You mentioned, you'd have heard me mention him many times. Scott over at Scott's Inverts. We often have a lot of fun, and we're going to go on there this Friday at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a chat, and we're going to just be talking about spiders in general, but mainly about the effect and the necessity of wild caught spiders in the hobby. Now, this is quite a contentious subject, and it has its pros and cons. So hopefully we're going to have a little bit of fun, a bit of light-hearted discussion. So if you can, get over there, get in the comments, throw us a question or two. It'll make it all the more interesting of an evening. And being a Friday, I'm allowed to stay up late. So it should be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's not a school day afterwards, so we'll be good. Right then, well, I think that's it. Is there anything else? There is one thing I nearly forgot to say. I very nearly forgot to say. We have a young subscriber, a young man. He's about 8 years old. His name is AJ, and his father comes to my works, and that's how we met. He comes to our works, to our yard, and he said to me that young AJ is an avid follower of the channel. So AJ, I hope you like this spider. It's absolutely amazing. I hope you like it as much as I do. And hopefully we'll get your dad round, come and get a couple of spiders, and maybe you can come with him and come and see the beastie room. Get some photos. Right then, so behave yourself and keep watching the channel. We really appreciate it. Right then, that's enough from me. Don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And I'll see you soon, guys.